Hey guys, welcome back to Bottom Table Tyrants. I am Leland and this is Josh, and we want to let you guys know that I'm going to be at Adepticon in March. I don't know if I can trick this guy into going with me to see some of his buddies up there, but we'll see. But Adepticon goes from March 22nd to March 26th. That's like a Wednesday to a Sunday. I will be running RPG games there on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Registration is on January 8th, so that's just a few days from now. So if you want to get on and register, you really got to get on for Adepticon and register quickly. Registration opens at 1 p.m. Literally, stuff will fill up in like an hour or less. So if you want to jump on, there's only 5 slots per game for my RPG games, so it will go fast, as well. I'll tell you. Just want to let you guys know we'll be there if you want to come see the Tyrants. And that's it. Let's get into the episode. Okay, Josh, topic for today's episode is how to integrate a new player into a existing campaign. Let's just say, first of all, a normal player, like a player who knows what they're doing. How would you integrate them into that?
A player that knows what they're doing. Well, I wouldn't overthink it. If they're in a city, they meet them in the city. They can have their own background, whatever, of course that's discussed prior. But like if they're in a city or a metropolitan area or a town, they meet them there. Didn't overthink it. If the players are already in a dungeon or something like that, it's kind of hard to just, they're sitting. I more or less have a backstory where they're captured and they're stuck. They're like in a trap or something. And then the previous players found them and then bring them in to the party. Okay. And they, of course, play the game where they don't trust each other and they've got to learn each other. That's the important thing I learned.
Okay.
So that, yeah.
I agree with all that, definitely. I guess my main tips on this is going to be get them into the game quickly so they don't sit there at the table.
Yes.
Or sit there on their PC if they're doing it digitally for if you're having a 3-hour session, don't make them sit there for 2 hours until you finally find them in the trap or whatever it is. Let them get into the game quickly. So have it set up. If you need to prep the session before, make sure you get them set up. And I guess, so what if it was a brand new player and you're bringing them into a campaign where, you already have like level 6 characters, something like that, like a high level characters or mid level characters, and this guy is like brand new. Do you have any other, would that change your reaction or how you would handle it?
No, I would say they would start at level 4, that kind of deal. If they're level 6 characters, kind of depending on what level the previous players were. But also there would be some time before they just jumped right into it, so that way the new player can see what the other players, how they're functioning and working together and talking to each other. So that way there's kind of a build up to it, as opposed to just, hey, you found this new person, and go from there. At least have something to where the previous players are conversing or continuing something from the previous session. And yeah, definitely not wait 2 hours for a 3-hour long session. I agree with that. But maybe there's nothing wrong with them building up, having some kind of social discussion back and forth for the previous players, and then introduce the new player. As far as a brand new one, so far my experience been is when there's a new player coming in, they always have, they knew someone playing or the DM, so they kind of have an idea of what to expect going in prior to the game.
Okay, yeah.
So,
only thing I would add to that is I personally like to do kind of a session 0 for that new player, especially if they're brand new, and bring all the players with you so that they can meet them. So it's like the first time they get into the game, this isn't the first time, because I agree, most of the time they're going to know at least one other person at the table in most instances. But just so they can get to know everybody else as people, and then get to understand what the other player characters are that those people are playing, which can help them prep. So it's kind of like a prep session, a session 0 just for that person that I would have. You could do it over the phone. You could do it over just the video conference or something like that. Get everybody on the same page. Hey, here's my character that's going to be joining the party. Here's what, they're a warlock or whatever it is that they do. And what you're kind of like, what that new player's theory for them is, what they want to do with them, just so everybody can kind of bounce off that and tell story with them, with that. So that's the only thing I would add to that. Otherwise, great.
What about a rebuttal to that?
No. Tell me what you got.
Because I think I like the idea of the new player coming in, having the few minutes of seeing the dynamics between the actual players, But then the previous players don't know the new player. So they don't know what their character is going to be. So not only in the real world do they not know what this new player's character is going to be, but the new character doesn't know what the older character is going to be.
Okay.
So there's a
Yeah.
bit of still mystery to it too.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree that you could definitely run it that way. That way they in game can learn about the other characters.
Yeah.
I that's true. I agree. You
you're
are
right.
right in that. But at least I guess again the familiarity with the other players, not their characters. Again, yes,
Yeah.
definitely take that if needed. But and also I guess you want to impart the lore of the realm, like whatever area you're playing in, if it's like Shadowrun or whatever it is you are, you may have to teach that player about what they're jumping into. Like, is it fantasy? Is it sci-fi? Is it cyberpunk? Like,
Sure.
if they have any questions on that, because sometimes new players have never even been in this, in that type of fantasy before. So you just to educate them, it's a little session 0 to educate them on what they're about to dive into. So just to minimize confusion. So awesome, guy. Thank you for setting with me, and we'll have a few more episodes coming up pretty soon. And don't forget Adepticon, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Bottom Table Tyrants out.